Welcome to episode number 1 of Free to Lead, Journeys of Leaders Driven by Passion, Inspired by Purpose. I am not your host, but I get to introduce you to your host, Will Steele. Congratulations on the launch of your show.
Thank you very much, Josh, and thanks for your help.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell me a little bit about what Free to Lead is all about and who you're going to be having conversations with.
Well, Free to Lead is all about being freed up from your mind, the constraints, your worries, your concerns. I have worked with thousands of people, like around 100,000 people now, all around the world. And what stops people moving forward and taking action, it's a risky business sometimes, and that takes courage. And people can be stopped by doubt, by thoughts, by negative stuff. So I get into it with them. I'm really a transformational coach. So I get into what's going on with them to free them up. And I wanted to kind of make something available for leaders, because leaders a lonely position. You can't complain. You can't, you've got to have it all together and all that stuff. Whereas if leaders can hear leaders, other leaders sharing their journey, what they've gone through, what they got stopped with, what they, their triumphs, share their wisdom, share their nuggets of real gold. I want people to hear that, it's an actual, it's a position in life to be proud of. I'm a leader. I'm willing to take on playing a big game in life, So I want to celebrate those people and, at the same time, create this conversation about leadership, because just because you got a title doesn't mean you're providing great leadership. And quite often, people in those positions don't experience that what they're trying to accomplish is getting absorbed by and recreated by the people they lead. So there's a kind of a mismatch. So I really want to support leaders being powerful, effective. They say it's going to go this way. They've got a vision. They're trying to get everyone to fulfill on that vision. And just really empowering them in that. It lights me up to be working with people who are up to something that makes a difference in their organization and in the world particularly. So, people who are, I create it with the guys I work with. When I work with someone, one of the first things is, well, why are you doing all this? Well, I want to earn this and I want to earn that. It can't be about just the money. If it's just about the money, there's no juice in that. After a while, it's just pressure. And it's like, whereas if you're up to, like I'm up to in the Middle East with my programs that I'm creating out there, is transforming the leadership of the Middle East. I'm up to that. So that lights me up. That gets me out of bed. That gets me on calls with people. That gets me, So if you don't have some vision, something you're up to that's bigger than your own personal feelings and circumstances, you're only going to go so far. You're only going to make so much of a difference, and, you're going to get money. Whereas if you're up to something, you're going to get money. Don't worry about that. But what you're up to is where your real passion is. That's what gives you the passion. That's, the title is, driven by passion, inspired by purpose. But those two things are connected. Without a really great purpose, it's hard to have drive unless you're just someone who can grind it out, So I'm excited to start showcasing people and, empowering them and having people get, who they are and what it's taken for them to become who they are in the world.
Yeah. And Will, you have a very unique position just because of what you do professionally. Do you mind sharing a little bit about your background and who you work with and what you do in the world today?
Yeah, well, for 21 years, I led programs for one of the leading personal development companies in the world. And I traveled all over the world. 15 years of that, I lived basically on the road, going from city to city, different countries, 26 different countries, over 90,000 people, transforming their lives in a 3.5-day program. And then the pandemic came, there were no more live programs, so I was let go, and I started my own coaching business. And I found that I only really get lit up myself when I'm working with someone who's up to something. They want to, they're stuck, or their performance isn't great, they're working really hard, long hours, but it's not moving the needle. So I discovered really listening to people to get to, using all my transformational skills, and I can get to what's really at the bottom of what's holding you back. And it isn't the thing in front of you. You know, you will discover what's holding you back from moving forward is something from your past. And it could be when you're 5 years old. Something happened, you made some decision, you know, I'm not really that good, or I'm not loved, or I'm not smart. So now you're compensating. Your whole life is compensating for something. You've forgotten it, but you are just driven. So just being driven because you're driven, and to produce a result, then you produce the result, and the good feeling lasts a few minutes or a very short period of time, and then it's like, well, what's the next thing to go after? So people end up on this treadmill, and they get burned out, they get stressed, they feel anxious, they don't feel secure in themselves. Many people talk about imposter syndrome, right? Well, look, we just drill all the way to the bottom, get to what's actually going on, and all of a sudden it's like a domino. You know, you find that original thing that happened, and it isn't what happened. It's everything you made it mean at the time, and the decisions you've made about yourself and about others and about life, and now what you need to do and who you need to be. But once you get that kind of like, oh, well, a 5-year-old made that up. It's run my life. Okay. It's like a domino effect, goes right through to the present day. And now you're freed up. You've got the power to move forward. You go, oh, let's do this. This is what I need to do. And all of a sudden, there's this freedom and this power. And my strap line, if you like, is transform the business owner, you transform the business, you know? And I promise people they can double their business in 12 months working with me. And people don't believe it. Now, if it was Microsoft that came to me,